Hello everyone and welcome to today's call. My name is Ari Page and I am the Chief Executive Officer of Fund&Grow, and today we have a very special presentation lined up to show everyone how to effectively utilize zero interest business credit and how to stack card accounts, as well as how to utilize non-recourse corporate credit and various other tax-free loans. Many business owners and real estate investors are utilizing this type of funding, but quite frankly, this is an extremely underutilized resource. So on today's call, I have our COO, Mike Banks, on with us.
Hey everyone, it's Mike. I'm so happy you could join us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We are here live with you today. It's October 26th, and we could not be any more excited to share this training with you. Now, many of you know we've helped thousands of real estate investors and business owners, and we're consistently bringing in $6 to $7 million every month in new business credit lines for our clients. And today, we're going to show you exactly how we do that.
And we're going to be going through corporate credit, we're going to be going through business credit, and we have quite a special presentation lined up. So we're just going to jump right into this. So I have a question for everyone. I'd like to know, how much funding do you need? If you could come to the webinar console, let us know how much funding you need, and if you'd like to include what industry you're in, that would be great. So come to the webinar console, let us know how much money you need for your business, and also what industry are you in. All right, excellent. So I can see that people are already coming to the webinar terminal. Wow, we have a lot of people on today. Okay, so let's see. So Cliff is saying he's looking for 250,000. Joshua is saying he's looking for 200,000 for real estate. Pyotar is looking for 600,000. Adeline, 500,000 for real estate investing. We're looking at say Kevin, Andrew, Michael. All of them are looking for 250,000 plus for real estate. Brian is also looking for money for real estate.
Wow, so they keep pouring in. Keep them coming, folks. We really appreciate the interaction. Karina's looking for 50,000 for a feed and grain retail store. Rhonda's looking for 250,000 for a restaurant. Gabriel's also looking for $250,000 for real estate. Folks, the great thing about these business credit lines is that you can use them as cash. So it looks like we have a lot of people here in the real estate industry. You're going to love what you hear today, because you can literally use these accounts as cash and keep the interest rate at zero for extended periods of time.
So Joseph says it's never enough. I couldn't agree with Joseph anymore. When you have a powerful business model and you see the market the way that it is right now, you can never get enough funding. So thank you for sharing that, Joseph. So Christopher's looking for money for real estate. Rowan is looking for 300,000 for real estate. Ray is looking for 150,000 for wholesale and rehabs. Camellia is looking for 100,000 for a real estate and home improvement company.
Awesome. So Don is looking for 175,000 in real estate as well. Calvin needs a line of credit of at least 100,000 to start investing in real estate. Alistair is looking for $250,000 for fix and flips. Phil is looking for $250,000 for rehabs and flips also. We've got a video production upgrade. Looks like Alan's looking for 50,000 for a video production upgrade of some kind. So whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it's for marketing, whether you're planning on doing another 3 or 4 deals per quarter, whatever it is, you need the funding to do that, especially if you're trying to manage multiple deals at once. And that's the idea. When you're in real estate, you need to have more than one deal going. So you need the funding to do that. Another $250,000 for Robert in real estate.
Thank you so much for the input, everyone. Keep it coming. If we didn't get to you right now, we're going to address all these questions and comments during the Q&A, so keep them coming in.
So this is really going to be eye-opening to a lot of people on the call. Really make sure that you're focused on what we're covering today, and perhaps the better about today's web class and what makes this training so different from any webinar or web class that you've been on in the past is that we're going to show you how to start the process of building up to $250,000 of this type of funding, and how you can get as little as 100,000 in sometimes like 30 days. We have clients that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks are getting, in many cases, 50,000, 75,000. But do keep in mind, This webinar is for training and educational purposes, and if you take this project on by yourself, make sure you're ready to put in the same amount of time and research that our consultants will put in on your behalf. Otherwise, your results will be limited in comparison to what the case studies that we're going to be going over today. We're going to be bringing up case studies of other students, what their credit scores were like, what their business credit was like, how much funding they got. We're going to cover all of that on today's webinar. Now, Bloomberg says that 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months simply due to lack of funds. So one of the links in the chain to your business being successful is having access to funds. And so this is a really, really important aspect to business credit and to your business model is using business credit. And if you're thinking and wondering, well, do I really need it in my business? You know, I have a cash positive business. I'm making a lot of money. Do I really need it? The question to ask yourself is, do you need more opportunity within your business? Would you like to make even more money and expand even faster and leverage yourself, your time exponentially? Because you can do this with no tax returns. We can not even worry about the debt to income ratio. It's important to understand that the credit is unsecured. So all of these aspects, the fact that no partners are needed if you don't want to. If you want to use partners, you can do even more. No investors are needed. There's cash access to all of this type of credit. So you need access to this type of funding because you need to expand your business model. No matter where it is, you could make more. If you're not growing, then your company is dying. And that's a really important concept to understand. If you're just flatlining and you're just doing about the same that you did last year, then in essence, your company is slowly dying. So in order to continue your onward growth, you may need access to funding as you move along. And there's many different uses for this type of funding, from real estate to new investors replacing high interest loans off their personal credit, to experienced companies financing marketing campaigns, paying off equipment, investing in training programs. There's so many different things that you could use this for in your own personal life, as far as separating business and personal expenses from a business owner standpoint. And of course, there's investing in passive income generation programs. We have one of the affiliates we work with will show you how you can generate up to $100,000 in 1 year if you have $100,000 of seed capital, and how this gift keeps on giving back year after year after year, and how to expand that model. So passive income generation is huge. Obviously, having seed capital is important, and the ability to expand, to be able to hire new staff, expand your model is one of the most important aspects in business. And of course, any type of online marketing that you're doing now. Why is it important, to do all of this? Well, it's really important to expand your business model, to not flatline, to not just keep on doing what you've been doing before. And this really came into play for us in our company as we were growing Fund&Grow. You may know us when our company was called Credit Card Builders, and you can see I'm here on the right-hand side, and that's my wife, Maya, on the left-hand side, and our 2 children. We're down here in Florida in the Tampa area, and we have around 20 employees that are delivering this service every day. We have many contractors that are outside of our office as well. This is us on a recent mastermind cruise, actually, and as you can see, the kids were absolutely loving it. But we do these mastermind cruises from time to time. My kids are, one of them is 12 years old and the other is 11. This just gives you a little picture who we are. And also, Mike is also with us. This is him on a recent fishing trip.
Yep, that was on a little mini cruise I went on, and I caught myself a nice 35-inch snook. That's something that I really enjoy doing, is getting out on the water and just getting in some fishing, do a little reading while I'm out there. It's just something I really enjoy doing.
So yeah, Mike's a real outdoorsman and also a scholar, and he is our COO, as we already introduced earlier, and he runs the office day to day. So you got to see what we look like and a little bit about us. Fund&Grow was created in 2007. We were a mortgage company before that, and we had created hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans. We took those 32 years of industry experience and compiled it together into Fund&Grow, which is a business credit resource. And the reason why this came to be was because of the way that the banks were lending during the whole downturn of the market. So the way that the banks were lending dictated the lending sources that we were going to, and now we've served literally thousands and thousands of clients, creating hundreds of millions of dollars of unsecured funding. And we're happy to work together in the education of small businesses and being able to do this on their own. So for those who have joined us today, we have a few bonuses. This is one of the bonuses we're going to give away to everyone who's joined us for the call. This bonus will allow you to keep tabs on your credit report at no cost to you. So you're going to be able to check your credit report out. You're going to be able to simulate changes on your report to see if you'd like to update things, and we're going to show you how these work. We're going to cover these concepts that are overall important to building business credit. Now, some folks on the call may have already built some of this. It may all be new. But what we're going to cover today, first is the formation of a lendable entity, then building business credit and negotiations and appeals, and what does that mean, as well as establishing non-recourse corporate credit. And what's the difference between corporate and business credit? And then getting cash from credit that's not a cash advance, and that's huge and that's powerful. And then, of course, funding and growing your business. And this is what we're going to be going over today. And first, let's start with Kiara mentioning how much funding she's got through this system and this way of building your funding. So on her first round of funding, which was within the first few weeks of working with us, she had already received $75,000 in funding. And then on the second round, she was up to $117,000 in funding.
Yeah, and here's Randy. Randy Larkins is a client of ours who received over 180,000 within his first year. He's actually on his second year now, and he's exceeded the 180,000. And I actually recently spoke with Randy, and he talked about how he's using the funding for his auto dealership, and how he's also recently gotten into real estate investing, and he's doing a flip every 90 days on top of his successful auto dealership, and he also owns a pawn shop. So if you look on the right-hand side where you see the screenshot of the credit gained, you'll see that in the first column there's a lot of zeros, and in the second column is where the larger amounts come in. And we're going to get more into detail about that negotiations process and how all that unfolds in our program.
And it's really important as you build your foundation to start with a lendable entity. That is really the foundation of your business. And so while everyone on this call, or many folks, may already have an entity or a business, an LLC, S Corp, or C Corp, whether or not that entity is lendable is a completely different story. So there's a few things to really keep in mind when it comes to an entity. And the first is, what industry are you in? The second is, what is the name of your entity? And the third is what is the length of seasoning? Now, how can we affect these things if we're in an industry that is, if I'm an electrician, I can't call myself a plumber, for example. So how does it make a difference what industry I go in? Well, for the sake of funding, there is a difference. For example, if we take a marketing and advertising company or a business management entity, so a company that's registered in the business management industry, to the banks, we're going to get a lot more money than if we take a bank that's registered in the real estate investing industry. And guess who all falls under the business management industry? Any person that owns a business. If you own a business, you can go under the business management industry, which immediately makes you more lendable. And so the name of your entity, that is also a very important thing. And so the last item is length of seasoning. Now, the length of seasoning is based off of how long you've had your entity open. And we have ways of being able to extend this when you're a member of our company. But for the sake of education, it's important to have an entity that has a couple years of seasoning at least. So these three keys: being in a safe industry, having a healthy name, and having a healthy amount of seasoning, at least 2 years. And so any business that is really looking to expand and looking to add funding to their overall model of expansion is going to use separate entities for different aspects of their business. As we all know, Microsoft is broken up into a whole variety of different entities. So is Google. So is all of these big companies. And so for you to own multiple companies in all of your overall business endeavors is not a problem. So, you're looking for money for real estate. That's not a problem. You don't want to close your real estate entity. You don't want to lie or misrepresent to the bank. That's not what we're suggesting at all. What you would want to do is create another entity that is in the business management industry that allows you to have a better overall lendability with the banks. As soon as you've been approved for it, you can then loan the money from your business management entity to your real estate entity or to any other company that you may own that is less lendable, because your business management entity is more lendable. You're going to get more funding through that, and then you can lend it to any of the other entities that you own.
Yeah, we've actually had clients come to us that applied for a business loan on their own before they came to us for help, and they were denied. Everything was all good. The numbers were good. Everything on paper looked good until they found out it was a real estate company. So when it comes to getting business credit or a business loan, doing this repositioning strategy is very beneficial, and it works for all of our clients.
So why using an LLC, S Corp, or sole proprietorship makes no difference. We're talking about two different overall types of funding today. That's business funding and corporate funding. And we're also going to lightly touch on personal credit. When it comes to unsecured business funding is not based off of any of your assets, and the way that it ties into your entity is in a way where you are personally guaranteeing it. So you are personally guaranteeing this credit, and that's why they want to look at your personal credit. However, if you should not pay the credit, they're not coming after any type of asset that you own because it's unsecured. So it's unsecured, meaning if you don't pay it, they're going to put a mark on your personal credit. And for all those who are interested in funding that does not show up in your credit under any circumstances, we're going to be covering the corporate credit here in just a few minutes. But when it comes to unsecured credit, the reason why it doesn't matter whether you're using a sole proprietor, an LLC, an S Corp is because you're personally guaranteeing it. You're moving the conversation to beyond the limit of liability. So of course, when it comes to investing, if you're in real estate, you would always want to use like an LLC or an S Corp so that you have that limit of liability. Well, you're not going to have a limit of liability in between an unsecured loan and the bank. You're going to have liability with the bank because that's why they're giving you a loan. They expect that you're going to pay it back. So that's a really important aspect to understand. Although you are personally guaranteeing it, as long as you pay it back, this credit will never show up on your personal credit. You'll be able to use the funding, and it will never hurt you in a negative way, and it will always be able to, you'll always be able to get access to more funding because this isn't showing up on your personal credit. If this was showing up on your personal credit, then you wouldn't be able to get access to more. So now you may be wondering, well, with all of this, will this work for me? This sounds a little bit complicated. I have to worry about the industry that I'm in. I have to worry about whether this is personally guaranteed. And although this sounds complicated, the truth is it's very simple. It's very simple. And this works for all of our affiliates. It works for hundreds and hundreds of clients every month that are getting started with us. Thousands and thousands of clients a year. Here are some of our top affiliates. You can see David Fagan of Icon Media Builders, and Dave Levinsky of Grow Think, and Alexis Neely of Eyes Wide Open Life, Chiara Petrogivana of Certified Life Coach. And so we have a lot of friends up here who also teach their clients about us. A lot of folks in the real estate, Brian Ellis and Mitch and Eli and Eric. So a lot of people in real estate that are looking for more money for their company and that are looking for more money for their clients. This works for them, and it works whether or not they're a new company, whether or not they're an existing company. You can get access to this type of funding, and you can leverage and you can build your business model. So we're going to dive more into the unsecured business credit. And when you're using unsecured business credit, you're able to build up to around $250,000 of this in a 12-month period of time. Now, as I alluded to earlier, it doesn't appear on your personal credit, and we are able to use the zero interest offers that the banks give us. Some of these offers are 6 months at 0%. Some of these are up to 18 months at 0%. The best part is that no collateral is ever required, and we can access and use these credit lines as cash without doing any kind of cash advance. So unsecured credit is really powerful type of credit. And, I recommend you go ahead and Google it, and you will see that there is a variety of 0% cards that are out there from the big banks. There is a huge amount of banks out there that offer this type of funding.
Yeah, and the bottom line is that according to the National Small Business Association survey, nearly half, 43%, of small business respondents said that in the last 4 years, They needed funds, but were unable to find any willing sources. So this failure to secure financing has caused 32% of businesses to reduce their number of employees and 20% to reduce employee benefits, and 17% were unable to meet existing demand. Now, this causes people to utilize personal finances and personal credit more, which you can completely avoid if you just start using business credit accounts. And in fact, how many people on the call, show me by raising your hands, how many of you are using your personal credit cards or you've used your personal credit cards in the past for your business? Go to the console, raise your hand if you've used your credit cards, your personal credit cards for your business, because I cannot stress to you enough how crucially important it is that you keep the debt off of your personal accounts and you keep it where it belongs on the business profile, on the business credit accounts. If you do this, you'll see that your personal scores will stay high. But if you continue to put your business expenses on your personal accounts, your personal scores are going to be hindered and they'll stay down. You have to transfer the debt over onto the business side.
Now, too many folks make this mistake. We often hear, I wish I knew about that a year ago, or what some of the other people are like, this sounds too good to be true. You know, we've been in it a while, so we can definitely understand. We remember that nearly half, or 43% of small businesses said that in the last 4 years, they needed funds and were unable to find any willing sources to lend. So it makes sense that people have that attitude, but using business credit lines is not a well-known resource, and it's extremely underutilized. So if you're needing reassurance, again, just go ahead, Google zero interest business credit, and remember, we aren't new to this field. We specialize in business credit building for 9 years, and we've helped and we've educated thousands of real estate investors. So it looks like a lot of people have come, and wow. So it looks like, you know, just from the raise of hands here, and I'm just scrolling through, and just literally hundreds of people here have put their hand up, letting us know that they do use their personal cards for business. And so now folks on the call are very aware that when you're using your personal card for business, you're hurting yourself personally. You're making it more difficult to refinance and get more 0% offers in order to continue the 0% period of time. And it's really important to understand card stacking. Card stacking is the ability to use these 0% cards on an long-term ongoing basis. And that's what our consulting will do for you. That's what we do for you, is this whole card stacking process, which will first start with optimizing your personal credit, then establishing an entity, then moving into the applications and the negotiations and getting you the credit. And we just literally take the bull by the horns and do the whole thing for you. Now, we're going to go into some training right now, and we're going to talk a little bit about your personal credit. So in just a minute, we're going to talk about your personal credit, because we want to help people that want to do this on their own. If you want to go out and you want to learn about this and you want to start getting access to your company, you know, some funding, then you're going to be able to get some on your own. It may not be as much as what we get for our clients routinely doing what we do every single day and knowing what we know, but we're going to just go ahead and jump into this. So what you see on your screen here is the credit modules of a normal credit report. And we're just taking a minute to point out that, you know, that there's different ones, the Beacon 5.0, the FICO Classic, the Fair Isaac version 2, and that there's a difference between a consumer credit report and a tri-merge bank report. Now, when you work with us, you're getting an actual credit report so that you know the actuality of what's going on in your credit. Now, when you go online and pull your credit, you're only getting a consumer credit report, which only gives you half the picture. Your consumer credit report does not give you the whole picture. It only gives you a small, confusing portion of the total data collected on you as a user of the credit system. And so here's an example of a full page of your normal credit report on a consumer reporting agency that you would find online. And you can see that on this entire page, they only show 2 accounts. And they're giving us very little overall data. Very few data points. There's like maybe 5 or 6 overall data fields here. But then if you look at a bank credit report on that same one page, they're fitting 10, 13 different credit accounts on there, and they have a whole host, a multitude of data fields. And so there is so much more data that they're giving the banks than that they don't allow us to see. And there's a few that on the consumer report don't show up at all. So on this report, there's a few things that won't show up at all. So you as a consumer can spin your wheels trying to change like when an account was opened, if it was open at the wrong time, or if it doesn't have a limit that's reporting properly, or if it's reporting as an open card instead of a revolving card, or if it has the wrong amount of seasoning. Many accounts have the wrong amount of seasoning. And so all of these items are items that we're going to help you with. Now, none of them have to do with bad credit. This is just taking someone with good credit and giving them great credit. Taking someone who doesn't understand why their scores are artificially depressed when they actually have good credit. And so those folks may have been experiencing denials and not receiving the approvals that they're desiring. And what we're here to tell you is that a few tweaks to your report, which have nothing to do with credit repair, nothing to do with disputing anything, a few changes to your report and your scores will soar up, and you will have excellent personal credit, and you can get all kinds of access to funds where they look at your personal credit report first, like they do with unsecured business funding. Although none of the funding that we create reports to your personal credit report. And let me repeat that. None of the funding that we set up for people will report on your personal credit report. They still require you to have good personal credit report before approving you. So that's why if you go through our program, you end up with good personal credit scores, even though the point of our program is that we are building you business credit. We are building you business credit accounts that you can invest into your company, and we are also helping with corporate credit accounts. So we have a few screenshots here of, again, here is an example of a client that opened up their account in 2007, but yet it's only showing 25 months of seasoning because they report these in two separate fields. If we go back to here, they wouldn't even report it on this credit report at all. This credit report wouldn't even cover that. So only the banks know certain things. For example, in your balance field, whether it's going to report as a revolving account or an open account, in other words, what account type makes a big difference. This report isn't going to even tell you that. So as a consumer, if you're wondering why you're trying to get your credit to work better and you're just spinning your wheels, that's probably why. Personal credit positioning is really important. It's very powerful. What we do with our clients is we go through a whole host of different factors that will affect your overall lendability. And once we've addressed these factors, clients become highly lendable. Highly lendable. We're getting them $30,000, $50,000 accounts just on one account. And then we get 4 or 5 of those at one time, and that's just one batch of funding. And then we do the whole process over again. And so there's a lot to personal credit positioning, and there's a whole process to getting this type of funding. From doing the strategic the consulting ahead of time, to which would include the merging of accounts, increasing personal credit limits. There is a whole variety of different things that we're going to do to help enhance someone's scores. And again, it has nothing to do with credit repair, but to enhance their scores, there's a whole variety of things that we're going to do. And then we would move forward with the overall application process so that we can get them as much funding as possible. And so before that, we would then advise our clients to carry no more than a 35% ratio on their personal credit report only on credit cards. So on a credit card, you want to keep that at 35%. On a mortgage, it doesn't matter. On a car loan, it doesn't matter. On any other type of loan that's an installment or term loan, it wouldn't matter.
And when you get business credit lines, it won't matter either. You can carry a larger balance on the business credit account, but when it comes to personal, the banks like to see it around the 35% debt to credit ratio.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point, is that on business, you can leverage the entire account. It's not going to count against you. And we're going to be able to refinance that and do the card stacking process of moving one balance to another 0% card and keeping it on 0% long term. Our process shows you how to card stack using 0% long term. And of course, it's important to have a lendable entity. Now, there's a lot of negotiations that go into what we do, and the negotiations are when we're actually in the during the application process. So during the application process, well, let me ask folks on the call a question. How many times has someone applied for something and then you got declined and you didn't know why you got declined, or you got approved and you didn't get approved for the amount you wanted, but you got approved for an amount, and that was just all you never found out why you got that approval or that declination, and this is a pretty common thing. People apply for things they don't know. The banks don't ever follow up and tell them why they only got this. And the best that happens is they get some type of cryptic letter that gives them a one-liner telling them, why they got what they got. But the long and short of it is people don't realize how easy it is to call and speak with the bank and to essentially to negotiate directly with them. You can negotiate directly with the banks and you can speak with them and you can many times completely sway their decision and dissuade any fears they may have about you so that you get a bigger approval. And this is what we do all the time. We have to get on the underwriter's level and we explain our client's business model, what they're doing. We have so many great clients with great business models that all we have to do is effectively transmit that to the underwriter, and the underwriters are ready to approve them.
Yeah, in many cases, it's systematically denied. It hasn't even been reviewed by a human being yet. So it's just as simple as getting on the phone and communicating with the underwriting team.
So, and if for those who are interested in working with us, we have a whole dedicated team that does this, and this is what they do. There's a priority put towards the negotiations so that the negotiations can go through as soon as possible. It's really important that you follow up multiple times with each bank, and you want to leave a couple days in between each follow-up, but you need to follow up multiple times, ask to speak to an underwriter, and speak to them and plead your case and explain your credit. Let them know that you know about your credit and that you are a good bet. And that underwriter could approve you for a $100,000 loan or they could decline you. It is 100% up to them. They have sweeping powers when it comes to approvals on your personal credit or on your business credit. A part of business credit and using card stacking is removal of inquiries. Now, it's important to note that this is only meant for business inquiries. This is not meant for personal inquiries. When you apply for a personal credit card and you're approved for it, they're going to put an inquiry on there because you were approved for it. When you apply for a business credit card, there's no way that they can leave that inquiry on your personal credit report because it's a business account, and so it becomes a temporary inquiry. And so we show folks how they can remove those. And also, it's important to understand the difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. When you as a consumer go and pull your report, that's a soft inquiry. When any kind of bank or lending institution that actually extends you credit, when they pull your report, that's a hard inquiry. And so one of those will pull your scores down. A hard inquiry will pull your scores down by a few points, whereas a soft inquiry won't affect your scores at all. And when you do have high scores and your scores stay nice and in the purple zone, which is nice and high 700s, then you're going to receive the best offers from insurance to business loans to better mortgage rates. I mean, there's a whole variety of business suites and merchant services that are just a lot easier to use, and in many cases, you can't use them at all if you have bad credit. And so it's really important to just have good credit, especially if you want to do this long term. You want to use $250,000 and you want to use it long term. There's many banks offering this type of funding. So it's definitely possible. It's doable. I myself have over 700,000 of this type of unsecured business credit cards. Many of them are at 0%. I'm constantly changing them and updating and trying new ones, using the cash off strategies. I'm constantly just trying new accounts. And so anybody can do this. If I can do this, if Mike can do this, if all of our clients can do this, then anybody can do this. You just have to take the time to work on your credit, to keep your credit in good standing so that you can qualify for the business funding. Then when you qualify for the business funding, you need to keep all your accounts in good standing and continue to use those 0% accounts, continue to do the card stacking process responsibly and effectively. Don't invest into things that require you to pay back really over a really long period of time and really slowly. Be smart with your investments, and you will be able to repay, and you'll be able to build more and more of this type of funding. This is the credit process. You start with applications. Applications is when we're going to look at your overall report. We're going to look at your scores. We're going to get you into a lendable shape and apply. This happens right away. Then we move you into negotiations, where we start negotiating, pleading the case, getting the larger amounts. We're going to negotiate each account 7-8 times. Then it comes to inquiry removal, to removing the business inquiries, back to applications, back to getting you more credit. This is the credit building process that's going to build you up to $250,000 of funding. And there's a whole variety of different things that you can use this funding for.
Yeah, we have a lot of clients who are investing in real estate. They're using the money for gap funding or like a bridge loan. Plenty of clients are using it to go to different JV events, seminars, boot camps. Also, you get free travel, which is pretty cool. If you start using these accounts, you build up your rewards points. You'll be able to travel to go check out different properties or just seminars or whatever you really want to do.
And another really awesome benefit to using business credit is that you can use these accounts as cash, which will allow you to earn a lot more per deal, especially since it's at zero interest. So you're looking at 100% or more in ROI without having to deal with a hard money lender, and you're not doing a cash advance. You're doing a great cash out method that I have personally used myself many times, because quite frankly, who wants to pay 20% for a cash out? Who wants to even pay 10%? No one. That's why we have a way of withdrawing cash. And with some business credit accounts, withdrawing cash will be totally free, but with some there will be a small fee to withdraw the cash from the account, and we're talking like a 1 to 2%, maximum 2% fee. And so most of them you don't even have to pay that fee. But our clients don't even mind paying the 2% fee, as opposed to paying 12 to 20 points for a cash advance or to a hard money lender. So these cash out strategies are worth their weight in gold. Literally. So doing this specific transaction, for example, you could pull $40, $50, $100,000 off of a card. There's amazing ways there's different programs out there that will help you access the cash right off of a credit card and allow you to spend it on basically whatever you want to. And having cash access is huge, and being able to spend on whatever you want is also a very important aspect of the program. And again, that's something that we're gonna provide to all of our members, whether you join pay-as-you-go program or with our membership. Either way, you're gonna get access to these strategies to be able to pull the cash off, just like Joe, and being able to get access to $140,000 here of cash and being able to invest it back into his team and into his company. And we just have so many different clients that sing our praises because they were able to get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they were able to really leverage and boost their business model beyond what even they thought was possible. So the qualifications for this are fairly simple. You want to have around a 35% credit card utilization ratio on your personal credit cards. You want to have a lendable entity that we talked about, which is easy to reposition if needed. And you want to have pretty much none when it comes to negatives or derogatories on your credit report. We say minimal because there are times where clients have really strong credit and they have one or two minor issues like a late payment, and we still are able to get them hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we also want to just be really upfront and clear with people that if there are negatives and derogatories, those can be deleted. It just takes a little bit of time. And so while many clients come with a situation where there is a negative or two, it can be deleted. Understand that that's something that is that's beyond what we would normally be doing. So that's a little bit of a different conversation. We can help get that deleted, and we can still move forward and get you funding. In many cases, in a lot of cases, clients, if they have a strong profile, they're able to get funding regardless. But we just want to be totally upfront and let you know that if there are derogatories, we're going to work with you to help you with that. So if your scores are in between a 680 to a 700, then that's going to be that's going to be an entry point. If it was ideal, it would be 750 to 770, but a lot of clients are coming from 680 to 700, and we're able to easily boost and get them qualified for 30,000 in their first round and 150,000 over the next couple months. And so we have a lot of clients that are coming to us with higher scores, that are maybe a 720 or a 730, and they're getting 100 to 150,000 within the first 30 days. So it all depends on exactly where you're coming to the program. And if you work with us, you will get the higher amounts because it takes a professional understanding and implementation of these strategies to get the larger amounts right away in the beginning. Now, a lot of folks are going to do this on their own, and they're going to see success. They're going to get a lot of funding. But understand that we'll just get you a lot more. This is what we do every day. So far today, we've talked about business credit and personal credit and how those two tie into each other. Now we're going to talk about non-recourse corporate credit, where there's no PG required, no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. This is the best form of asset protected funding that you can get. And that's why it's really important that we go over this. And so the Dun and Bradstreet corporate credit is the funding that all business owners are moving towards. So when you first get started, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars of funding through the business credit that we were talking about in the earlier part of the call. But then companies segue into corporate credit. For example, here at Fund&Grow, we've bought our corporate buildings using corporate funding, which is 100% in the business's name. It's not in Ari's name. It's not in any person's name. It's in the business's name, and it's not attached to a social security number or to a credit report. It's only attached to Fund&Grow, the corporation. So it's great to be able to get access to $250,000 of business funding, but it's even better when you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars of this type of non-recourse credit from Dun and Bradstreet. And this is it's 100% non-recourse. It's not going to come back on you personally. It's based purely off the company. And so these are vendor credit accounts. And we're going to show you how to build a paydex score. We're going to show you how you can get these guaranteed approvals, even if you have bad personal credit. Because your bad personal credit, it has nothing to do with corporate credit, it wouldn't hinder you from getting this type of credit. So corporate credit, it doesn't matter if you have good personal credit, bad personal credit, it doesn't matter. You're going to get access to it no matter what. And with all of this type of funding, you can use it for a variety of different things. You can invest directly into your company. You can replace high interest personal loans that you may have. You could yourself become a money lender. We have many clients who, just because it's so easy for them to get funding through us, they become money lenders themselves. And so we have all of these different things that clients are doing, and they're coming to the Better Business Bureau and online places, and they're posting that stuff. And so here we have 3 different clients right here on the Better Business Bureau that are posting this. We have Monique, and we have John, and we have Anjum. And so they come directly to the Better Business Bureau. We encourage you folks, go and check us out online, and understand that we work with hundreds of new clients every month, usually around 250 new clients every month. And so there's just a lot of people that we're working with. And so you're going to see a lot of different things out there written about us, and you're going to see a lot of reviews. Here's another review from Seth, who's up to 350,000. So you can see he's well over that $250,000. And he's been using our program for a few years, and he just mentions they under promised and over delivered. And so this is super, super powerful stuff, because if you look, that Seth he wasn't even using his personal credit. He was working with his business partner. So his partner was working with him, and through his business partner, he was able to get this credit. But now, because Seth was working with us, now he's able to get business credit in his name as well. So he's able to get even more funding, because not only did we work with his partner, but we also worked with him. Now he's lendable. Now he has 2 sources of being able to get funding through him and his partner. And this is a really big thing. Being able to use a credit partner is a big part of being able to get access to more funding if you have a business partner that you work with. You might be married. You might have a son or a daughter, or an adult, a brother or sister that you work with. And no matter what the case is, if you work together with a credit partner and you get along good with them, then you can use them to help increase your overall lendability. And we're going to get a little bit more into that, into how using a credit partner could possibly help you, because using a credit partner will specifically help you if you have bad credit. Now, this is not like giving up equity within your company. This is not like using angel investors or crowdfunding. Using a credit partner is a inexpensive and safe way of being able to get access to more funding. So, and this is what people do when the bank says no. If the bank says no and they're unable to do it, a lot of times they'll work with a credit partner. It could be their own wife. A lot of husband and wife real estate investors don't even ever think about using the wife's credit. And the fact is, when you're responsibly using your credit and you have 2 partners to work with, you can really double the overall results that you get, and you can really receive that funding incredibly quickly. And that's very powerful. So it's a good thing that you're on this call, because otherwise you may not end up knowing where to go. You may stay trapped in high interest loans, or you might have thought that you had to put your assets on the line. Imagine that. How many business owners are right now putting their assets on the line, or paying daily on hard money loans, or factoring using their merchant receivables? How many folks on the call, you don't have to put your hand up, but on the call are using merchant factoring? All too often, clients are coming to us using these super expensive forms of borrowing.
And I'm sure you've all seen the show, The Shark Tank, where you come up with your idea and you pitch them, the investors, for funding, and they take 50% of your company and give you 50 grand. So that's not at all what we want you to do. We want you to have full control, be in the driver's seat, and get the funding that you can use at your leisure, how you please.
Here's a more detailed breakdown. And also just a reminder, we're going to open up the discussion for a Q&A, and then we'll show you in detail how our credit tracking view and negotiations process works. So make sure you stay on to see that part, and we'll send you some special bonuses also. So with the 0% business credit, the reason we say 50 to 250,000 is because we're getting around 30 to 100,000 on each application batch. And during the 12 months, we're going to apply around 3 to 4 times for our clients. So that's, about 5 different, 3 or 4 different application cycles. That's going to be around $250,000 of funding. Now, there's many clients who actually get above the $250,000. It just varies based on your credit history. So that's why we have this, this range. But over the course of 12 months, clients, if you have a good credit score, are going to build up to the $250,000 of funding. And you see all of the different links of the chain that are all needed. You're going to need our coaching to build this type of funding. So many clients are too emotionally tied to their situation, and they aren't able to clearly see the steps needed to see the success in receiving the funding that they're looking for. And so we do that by working with the client for a 12-month period of time. And we're talking about online consulting with over the phone, over fax, with Skype, whatever you need to. You'll have access to your financial consultant that's going to keep you informed along the way. In fact, our entire team has gone through many trainings and certifications on communication, on FICO, on credit, on business funding, and on understanding credit reports. And we really pride ourselves on this life-changing customer service that's helped so many small businesses. And we really love receiving all the testimonials from our clients that you can see online. So we've earmarked this overall value at $3,500, and this is not what we're asking people to pay today. This is just the value that we've earmarked, what other companies are typically charging. And so we have all of these different aspects to the funding chain, having an entity that's in the safe industry, getting the cash off the credit accounts, removing the credit inquiries, using the corporate credit and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that are available through the non-recourse corporate credit. All of these things are incredibly powerful, and we're definitely not asking you to pay what other companies are routinely asking clients and what other clients will routinely pay through other companies. And so we also mentioned at the beginning that we have some bonuses for those who stay on to the end of the call, and those ones are free. Now, these bonuses that we're going to go over right now are bonuses for those who want to work with us. So if you want to work with us, see the certificate on your screen, but this will entitle you to the financial management tool upon signing up for our service. We're going to give this to the first 15 people for today that turn this in. And so you'll get access to the software that ensures that no account ever hits above an interest rate, above a 0% interest rate, so that we can continue the card stacking, and it manages your business and personal expenses so that for maximum ROI in your business. That's really powerful software. So the second bonus for anyone who gets started today is access to our newsletter database. And this is normally only for subscribers. So what we're doing is we're giving away the first month of this subscription for all of those who get started on the call right now. So you could take a screenshot of this, and this will entitle you to a free month of this newsletter database program. And that will entitle you, if you stay part of that program and you'd like to be part of that subscription, then you'll receive our free condo stay. And we have clients that use this for a variety of different things, from going on vacation to going on seminar. And this will entitle you to a complimentary condo where you can choose to use it for 7 days. In 1 year, you could split it up and do 3 days here, 4 days there, however you'd like to do it. We have clients that have used the condos in Hawaii, in Florida, anywhere. If you want to go to the gas lamp district in San Diego, just let us know. We have all these different areas that you can go to. And if we don't have a condo there, then we're going to rent one for you, and it's going to be badass. It's going to be a nice condo. So we have clients that go on these work business vacations, and they send pictures of themselves, and we get so jealous in the office. But that's part of one of the programs that we offer. So the very last bonus that we have is our partner upgrade. So if you are working with a partner, like we were talking about earlier, you are going to get a buy one, get one offer, which is a $7,000 value today. So $7,000 value. And what would all be included? Well, like what we talked about, what you would be receiving in this package is an entity, then the batches of funding building up to $250,000, which of course is based on the credit consulting and what we do for you. And you can take a screenshot of this, as well as the inquiry removal template guide, as well as the cash liquidation maximum 2% fee, as well as the Dun and Bradstreet corporate credit and the financial management software, the 7-day condo stay, if you're part of the premium newsletter subscription, as well as the buy one, get one offer, which is the $7,000 membership partner upgrade that we just showed you. Take a screenshot of that as well. So all of this is included. Of course, the most important part is the access to $250,000 of funding. But it's important to know that we're willing to do all the work. All these other items are knowing that we're willing to do all the other work required that goes along with getting you this credit. Someone's got to do the work. Someone's got to do the work for that business. If that business is going to get access to funding, that's what we do. This special deal that we've put together is going to include a discount on our main service, as well as all of the bonuses that we just finished talking about. So the bonuses of the membership partner upgrade, the newsletter program, as well as the condo stay. So all of that is going to be included with the $3,000 option here on the left-hand side. So there's no back-end fees or no additional cost to this option here on the left-hand side. So the option here on the left-hand side is one payment of $3,000. Now, if you don't want to pay upfront and you'd rather pay as you go, then we have the option here on the right-hand side. So this option on the right-hand side, you put $1 down today, forward and build you the funding first. Now, you do need a 730 FICO to qualify for this program on the right-hand side. So if you have a 730 FICO, then you can move forward with the option on the right-hand side, and you'll receive the bonuses regardless of whether or not you choose the option on the left-hand side or the option on the right-hand side.
And I just wanted to point out, folks, the normal price that we would charge for the 12 months is typically $3,500. If you go to our website directly, you'll see it's $3,500. So make sure you go to the link. We talked about the membership partner upgrade. I just wanted to reiterate what we were talking about before with the $7,000 membership partner upgrade. That value, you're getting that because you're able to add a partner on with the program. So for $3,000, you can add a partner on and get basically a buy one, get one free, whereas normally it costs people $3,500 per person. So today you get it for $3,000 and you can bring on a partner. And if you don't want to pay up front and you have a qualifying credit score, then you can do the option on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that's a huge difference right there. To be able to get everything for two partners for $3,000 is a real excellent deal. It's less expensive than what we would normally offer it for everyone on this call. Otherwise, we're not going to even do it. So there's a lot of different types of funding you can get, and most funding is tied to the asset. So, you know, if the worst were to happen where you are unable to make your payment, the last thing you want is for your asset to be taken away. Let's say you bought some pizza ovens, or you bought a rental property, or you bought some vehicles for your company. The last thing you want is for the asset to be taken away. The asset is what's earning you income. So if the asset's taken away, now you're going to have an even harder time making all of your payments. So using this type of funding, the worst thing that happens is you get a bad credit mark against you. They can never take the asset or whatever it is that you purchased with this funding. If you get $250,000 of this and you buy real estate, or if you buy assets for your company such as pizza oven or a build out inside your office space or whatever it is that you build, it's unsecured. It's not secured on that. They can't take it away. It's not like a car loan or a home loan where they can actually take away that asset. So this is the safest way to invest in yourself, and keeping you 100% in control, keeping it very low interest. Besides what you're paying to us, it will be at 0% interest. At the same time, building a business and corporate credit profile. And then also we're going to segue into talking more about the corporate credit. We're talking about business credit. Business credit is the 0% business credit accounts that if you don't make a payment could affect your personal credit. But there's also the corporate credit accounts that would never come back on you. They're not only unsecured, but they're also non-recourse. And that's how we bought our office building last year, was through a non-recourse loan. I, as the owner, didn't even have to sign to buy this piece of property. It's 100% in the company's name. Whether I pay it or not, it will never affect my personal credit. It will never affect my kids or my wife or anyone. And so these aspects of funding are really important. Some people just jump on the bandwagon because they want to get access to the funds, and they just sign on the dotted line. It's really important to do so in a very strategic way that is going to put your company first, your family first, so that you're not getting into something that could end up biting you in the butt later on. I wanted to give some examples of that, of how we have students that come to us. Many times, some of them have fairly good credit scores, and so they're really at a loss as to why am I not getting 100,000, or 50,000 at least of this type of funding. If there are these 0% business credit cards out there, why am I not qualifying? Why can't I get them? And what we found over and over and over again is that the negotiation process is really the way that the majority of this funding is generated. So if you look at this view in front of, which is, this is our CRM. I brought our CRM up, which is our customer relations management tool, and we're looking at a custom view that's just showing the amount of funding that has actually come in. And if we look up, you can see these are all the different accounts. Here on the right-hand side, where it says final in this last column, is where you'll see the final amount approved on any given account. And this is the way that many of these accounts are. Do you see this in this initial column right here? You see this column says initial and the little dollar sign? Look how many zeros are in this column. This is because this is how many accounts are declined right away, even though these clients have good credit. This is how many accounts are declined right away, and it's not until we negotiate. Every account on this view right here was approved for something. Every single one of these accounts, we have 35,000, 20,000, 13,000, 6,000. So each one of these accounts are at a different point in the approval process. The longer each one of these accounts are being negotiated, the higher each individual account is going to be due to the amount of negotiations that have been performed.
I saw a few questions come in that I wanted to address, and also someone was asking about payment plans. We do have payment plans. Just click the Order Now button on the left-hand side when you get there. Camille says, this is an awesome product, by the way. Camille says, how much is the membership each year after the first year? It's typically $31.50. We would discount it, but if you're paying $3,000, we'll usually give it to you for the same price in the next year. Brian, the installments you can find at the website. So just go to the Order Now button, click on the one on the left, and then choose your payment option right there in the drop-down menu. You could either do 2 payments of $16.25 or 3 payments of $11.66. So a few people were asking about the payment plans. Good thing we addressed that. Camille says, how long does it take to get funding? Within the first 30 days. If your scores are over 700, you'll get funding within the first 30 days. Now, if your scores are below 650, then we may need to address that. There may be some items that need to be removed, but we can help with that as well. The negotiations process takes about 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, there are no tax implications. You only pay you only pay taxes on earned income, and these are loans. So once you've invested the loan, then you've generated a return. Then any income you've built, that's what you would pay taxes on. So there are no tax implications to simply getting access to funding, and it's unsecured. This is definitely a safe and secure way of getting access to funding. Now, of course, we're not recommending that anybody gets into this if they don't think that they can pay it back. Yes, it is a safe way where you're not necessarily going to have your whole life torn down if you don't get access to all, if you don't make all your payments. But at the same time, this funding really needs to be used responsibly, and that's what the banks are counting on. That's why they're giving people access to this funding, because they're not just giving anybody with a 650 credit score access to this. They're giving people that are investors, that are entrepreneurs, that are speakers, that are that are really doing something in their life, that are generating income. Those are the folks that are getting access to this type of funding. They're not just handing it out like they once would hand out loans for homes. So this is something that once you qualify for, you're going to find that the floodgates really open up and you get a lot of funding, but until you qualify for it, it seems difficult. Like right now, I'll get offers in the mail where they're telling me I'm pre-approved, and they'll even insert the amount. Many times when you'll get a pre-approved offer in the mail where they tell you, yeah, you're pre-approved, just apply, but you could be, once you apply, they may give you 500. When you've been doing this for a period of time, you could get pre-approval letters like I'll get where they're telling me ahead of time, you are pre-approved for a $50,000 account that reports to Fund&Grow. And all I have to do is activate it. And so this is the type of funding you'll get once you start getting access to these lines, once you start using these lines, once you start investing in them and paying them off. If you're just simply ringing up debt on it and then not ever paying them down, then it's going to be more difficult to get access to more funding. But if you're using the accounts, you're doing fixes, you're doing flips, you're using the accounts, you're paying them down, at least percentages of them, then you're going to enjoy access to a lot of funding that you can use for any type of business, whether you're in real estate, whether you run a brick and mortar. It really doesn't matter the industry that you're in. What matters is your base credit score, and also the model that we present and the way that we present your model. There's models of all these different types of businesses. There's dentists that are making millions a year. Then there's dentists that are barely scraping by and paying their way. And so in all these different industries, it's really about the presentation that you make, just like in sales when you're trying to sell something. It is about the presentation that you're making to the underwriter, and that's what we're going to do on your behalf in order to get you the max amount of funding.
We've been getting a lot of great questions in, so we're going to get to those right now.
Ray says, I don't know if my credit score is a 730. Ray, we're going to actually pull your credit report for you when you get signed up with us. If you want to check beforehand, then you can go to a website like scoresense.com. They'll offer you a free trial for the first week. Okay, so Camille says, how do you get around not filing taxes on the funding entity? Well, that's because it's set up for banking purposes only, and it's on the federal level, not on the state level. So you're not earning income through the entity, so you don't have any taxes to pay.
So whatever operating entity you're using is where all of your funding will flow through. So if it's flowing through your operating entity and one of your smaller entities is being used just to create funding, then as you know, you as the business owner is going to file through to your K-1, and that's the way that you're going to file it.
Okay, so if we missed your question, feel free to resend it. If you could just copy and paste and send it through. There's been quite a few that have come in. Anthony says, what if my credit score is below 730? If you're below 730 right now, go with the membership on the left-hand side, because with that, we'll help you enhance your credit, and if needed, we have a credit repair company that can help you remove negative items. If you have like a derogatory, like a late payment or something like that, that could be what's bringing your score down. But if you're right at like a 680 to 700, then we could possibly do some things to enhance your credit report without actually doing credit repair and get you up over 700. It just depends on how low you are with how low your score is and what's causing it. If you're below a 650 and you have some derogatories, then we would want to address that and try to remove those derogatories before we start applying for credit to get you the best results possible. We would go over that with you in the very beginning. In the first few days that you sign up, we're going to go over your credit report and what you pre-qualify for. And let's say that you need credit repair. We'll tell you that right away, and we're going to be very upfront about it because we have that 60-day money-back guarantee, and we want our clients to have the proper and appropriate expectations. We don't want you to think that you're going to get $200,000 in 30 days with a 500 credit score. We just have to be upfront about that. But the great thing is we have the solution for you. If you have dinged up credit right now, we can help you improve it, and we do this in an accelerated fashion on a daily basis. We handle about 200 clients a month, and like we showed you earlier, we're bringing in about 5 million a month, so we're pretty consistent. Okay, so Camille says when you use your funding partner, they can use that person's credit first and not use mine and later build mine up. Yes, absolutely. That's going to happen at the same time. We're going to build your credit. If you need credit repair, personal credit improvement, some people just don't have any credit and they need to use and establish personal credit. In some cases, that is an easy fix. And then while we're doing that, we're going to apply for your partner and bring in business credit lines using your partner's credit profile. That is something that we do for a lot of our clients. Not everyone has a credit partner, so some people on the call might be listening thinking, hey, I don't have a credit partner, is this right for me? That really doesn't matter, because if you want to build your credit, if you want to improve your credit, if you want to get access to business credit, you don't need a partner to do it. We can do all that with one person. The idea is that we allow you to add a partner on so that we can get you immediate funding, large amounts of the business credit, the zero interest business credit. That's the idea, to get you that quickly. At the same time, we'll be helping you improve your personal credit if that's something that we need to do, or we'll help you build corporate credit. Like we talked about earlier, the corporate credit is through Dun and Bradstreet. That has nothing to do with your personal credit. So if you're in a tough credit situation and you don't have a partner, then you'd expect to, when you come into the program, expect to focus on improving personal credit, whether it's credit repair, or credit building. Expect us to start on that right away. And then also expect to start building corporate credit through Dun and Bradstreet. Getting your paydex score up to 80 is going to allow you to get more funding on the business side. When I say the business side, I'm talking about the zero interest business credit, because that is separate from the corporate credit through Dun and Bradstreet. But when you build your profile up under Dun and Bradstreet, you build your paydex score up to and over 80, that enhances the approval rate. You get larger amounts when we apply for the zero interest credit. So I know I'm going back and forth, but just trying to be clear, those are two separate things, but having that corporate credit profile does help you and enhance the amount. It allows you to get more having that credit profile there. It's just like having a good personal credit profile, but also having that corporate credit profile. And remember, that's all non-recourse, and that's how we bought our office building, using that type of credit with no personal guarantee. So both are important. Business and corporate credit are both important. That's why we include that in this offer. A lot of these other offers out there that you might find are only corporate credit, and they're charging you an arm and a leg, and then you have to pay additional to get the zero interest credit. That's not how it works with us. This is all included, the zero interest and the corporate credit. It's included.
Okay, we talked about sharing case studies before the call. We have a video here of a client who went through the program. They were on a webinar. They went through the program and they got results. So they talk about it here in the video. We're going to go ahead and play that right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Steven Kozjewski, and I was referred to Fund&Grow through a real estate mentor because I was having trouble getting a loan for properties under $100,000. I tried everything, I got the runaround, nothing was happening. So she suggested that I use Fund&Grow to get some credit card capital, and they promised about $35,000 to $50,000 in the first round, and after the first round, only 3 credit cards, I got over $100,000. Insane. I can't believe it. It was great. They kept me up to date, everything that was going on. All I had to do was activate the cards, give them the info, and they did everything else. I am so excited. I'm thrilled. Great job. Thank you to everybody at the Fund&Grow team.
I really love watching those videos of clients that went through our program and they got funding and they're talking good about us. I really appreciate that from our clients. So let's get into some more of these questions.
Okay, Alan says, can I use the credit score of my credit partner? Yes. Alan also asked, with the $1 option, is that 9% ongoing or is there a cap? The 9% is charged based on the amount that we get for you. So if we get you, let's say, $100,000, the first batch, you'll pay 9%. And then 3 months later, if you come back and you want to do another batch and you want to do it at 9% again, rather than paying $3,500, then it would be another 9% charge. So yes, it's 9% ongoing for whatever amount that we get for you. So if you get $50,000 the first batch, it's 9% fee. If you get $80,000 the second batch, it's a 9% fee. But many clients will do the 9% option, pay the 9% fee, and then buy the membership after that. But you have to realize, if you sign the contract for the 9% program and we apply for you, you are now locked into that program and you'll be required to pay the 9% fee since you didn't pay anything up front. That's how that works. The only way you can pay $3,000 is if you sign up and choose that option today. So you can't change
in the middle of the batch when we're applying, you can change after you pay the 9%. You can upgrade to the 3,000 after paying the 9%. Yes, you can do that. So I just want to make sure that's clear. Welcome to the program. Several more actually just came in, folks. We're probably going to fill up on that on the 15 that we were talking about. So if you can, go to the link, get started right now. There's a $500 discount. We didn't really talk about that earlier, but that's a pretty big deal. This is like a limited type of a thing. We don't do this in many instances. This is kind of a rare thing. So if you see this now, this is a discount you're going to get, but we won't offer that in the future. So you try to jump on it now if you can. If you have the funding available, you might as well. We're going to be able to create a huge value for you, bring a lot of funding to you, improve your credit, and you'll be able to make more money doing what you do. Sweet. Okay, looks like we've gotten to most of these questions. Let me know if I missed any questions here. Brian says, thank you. Here's a good slide with some frequently asked questions. I don't know what to do with the funding. Can you help me utilize it? Yes, but we actually have ways for you to use the funding. We went over the uses earlier, but our team is trained to advise our clients the best ways that they could use this type of funding. So if you're actually sitting there wondering what can I do with this zero interest money, we can definitely help you with that. But I'm pretty sure if you're on this call, you've already got a really good idea of what you would do with this kind of funding. I mean, you're going to have cash access to it. You can go out and purchase some properties. You can use it to, for like a $50,000 rehab or, whatever that amount is that you need. You'll be able to use this for whatever you want. So it's a great system, totally done for you. Another good question here is a training course. Is this a training course or do you do the work? This is a done for you system. We do it for you. All you have to do is just communicate with us. That's really it. We keep you updated. We reach out to you. But in some cases, our clients are difficult to get a hold of. So as long as you're able to answer emails, answer phone calls, this is totally done for you. You're not required to, with the bank or any of that, we do it all for you. And you'll know that for sure in the first couple of weeks working with us. You'll see that very quickly. Our team handles everything start to finish. All you really have to do is wait for the accounts to come in the mail and activate them. It's really that simple. A lot of these other programs out there will require you to call into the bank. We don't require that. We take care of this full service. We want you to have the high-end experience working with us as your financial services firm. This is what we do. We've been doing it for 9 years. That's how we've got such a good reputation. You might have seen us on Bigger Pockets before. There's some posts there, some clients talking about the funding that they've received. It's all positive. Check it out if you want to, if you need to do your due diligence. But in all honesty, if you wait on this, you'll end up missing the offer and miss the discount. But you can still do it. So this is a good example of what you're going to get in the mail after working with us for about a month. You'll see this in the mail. Letters from the bank saying you're approved. We've gotten this one increased to $40,000. This one increased to $30,000. Happens all the time. But remember, it's a longer-term process. If you don't use credit at all, if you have bad credit right now, you gotta keep that, take that into consideration when you're looking at what we're talking about here. When we're talking about people getting a $40,000 credit line, that person is already using credit. They're already showing that they're a responsible credit user. Their scores are over 700. That's how that's going to happen for you. If you need work on your credit, we're here to help you with that. Just keep in mind and take that into consideration as you're moving through the program. Obviously, it's going to take longer for someone who's, let's say, 19 years old that has never used credit before. It's going to take them longer to build credit and to get access to business credit. But if you are, 25 or older and you've already been using credit for a few years, it's going to be a lot easier for us to get you these amounts. And this is zero interest. Remember, this is zero interest. These are cash accessible. You are not paying a cash advance fee. You are not. You're literally able to pull the cash off these cards with just a 2% fee on that transfer. And you could potentially make money by doing it. Once we show you some of the strategies that we have, one of the strategies that we have, you're able to cash these cards out by quickly buying and selling gold.
through a website that we use exclusively, that all of our clients have been using to extract the cash off of these accounts, because you don't want to go to the bank and ask for a cash advance. They're going to charge you way too much. And if they think that you're doing anything like that, they're going to try to flag it as a cash advance. So there's several strategies that we have that we give to our clients for free, and the only cost to get these accounts cashed out is going to be a total of 2%, which is ridiculous. A zero interest funding, only paying 2% to cash them out. You go anywhere else and do the math, hard money, with any other type of loan, merchant cash advance, SBA loan, online business loan through like On Deck type of a online lender, all of those loans are going to cost you way more in fees. Some of those loans are going to cost you 30% interest. You're going to have to make daily payments on them. You know, if you do a hard money loan, you got to put the asset at stake, all the payments you make. You know, there's a lot more risk with that. There's also 12% or more in fees that you're going to be paying and points that you're going to be paying. So definitely a good option to have this in your arsenal. I don't see why any business owner wouldn't, or a real estate investor for that matter, wouldn't want access to business credit. It doesn't, I mean, it only makes sense. That's what it's there for, and it's zero interest. You might as well use it. The thing is, it's tough to get the large amounts. It requires the negotiation process, and that negotiation process produces these kind of results. Look at the difference from the beginning to the end. 5,000 was turned into 120,000. This happens routinely with our clients. This is something that only can happen if you spend the time doing it. You have to contact the bank about each account, and we've gone over it earlier in the presentation, but it's so important. And we have a team of former underwriters, former bankers. They used to work at the banks that we now are going to, so they literally know how to speak their language. And these are the people that are negotiating for you. They're appealing your accounts. They're the ones doing all the work for you, getting you these type of increases. Look at it, 70,000. This is straight out of our CRM. These are screenshots directly from our CRM. We showed you the CRM earlier. These, you know, the results are real. We've proven that. Let me know if there's any other questions. We're going to wrap this up, guys. I don't want to just keep going on and on. I'm going to make sure I got to these last questions, and then we'll wrap this up. Here's a couple questions that I think I missed. Can I pay down the loans with? Can I pay down high interest loans with this? Yes, because you can cash these cards out and then use them for whatever you want. You can go pay down your mortgage with it if you wanted to. You can do anything you want with it. Just keep in mind, you do have to still make payments on it. Every once in a while we have someone ask, do I have to pay this back? And yes, you do. The minimum monthly payment usually is 1%. All right, Michelle says, how is a zero interest possible? Michelle, if you Google it, you'll find it very quick, but they offer zero interest introductory rates. They do it all the time on the personal side. They do it on the business side also. It's just tougher to get approved with the larger amounts on the business side. That's where our negotiating team comes in. And like I said, no other program out there has a negotiating team like we do. M just asked, if my score is at 633, would I still be able to take advantage of the system? Yes, absolutely. We have I'd say about 35% of our clients start this program with scores right where you're at. Scores below 680. We just went over all how it works, and if you need credit repair, that might come into play. You might just need to establish personal credit. And in some cases, we get funding in the form of personal credit at zero interest. So M, if you're at a 633 and you haven't really been using your personal credit, we might need to establish personal credit for you, and that's a way that you're going to get quick funding. Right away, you'll get access to funding in the form of personal credit if you're not using it. Now, if you have late payments, we might want to remove those or whatever it is. But if you're at a 633, we really need to address what's there, what's getting in the way of those scores being over 700. And then once we find out what it is, we'll be able to correct it very easily. How long will it take? I would say it will take you about 90 days to get the funding. But the great thing is that we will not start the clock on our program, the 12 months. We will not start that 12 months until credit repair is done. And our credit repair is our sister company. Kadem Credit Help. They do a great job. They're very quick at getting these items removed and aggressive. They do 4 forms of disputes. Not just one form, they do 4 forms of disputes. That's how they're able to get these moved so quickly, because of the aggressive nature of the dispute. Most other companies aren't going to do that. So we found that out because we personally had to get our credit repaired, and we had clients that needed credit repair back 10 years ago. So we had already gone through this process and realized that this isn't something that we want to work with some company that we don't even know. So that's why we started the company that we started called Kadem Credit Help. And they handle all of our clients. All the employees there are very skilled, highly trained, professional people that you're going to be working with if you need credit repair. So whether you work with Fund&Grow in the beginning or Kadem in the beginning, regardless, you're going to be very pleased with the level of professionalism and just efficiency that they're going to show you in the very beginning of working together with us. And for those of you that got signed up, just want to say thank you guys for taking action. We love when people take action, because that's what we're all about in this day and age. You've got to be taking action to move your business forward, to be successful, to just have the things that you want in general. You have to take action and kind of implement things. And I like the phrase speed of implementation. That's something that we really focus on here. We're going to hold your hand the whole way through it. So thank you guys for signing up. If you've not signed up yet, we're going to be shutting the webinar down. You really should go ahead and get started. Got a $500 discount, and we do all the work for you guys. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the funding. We do the applications, then we do the negotiations, then we help you with inquiry removal. That is all a part of the process. We like to show you that just so that you can kind of picture what's going to happen. You get your consultation, boom, you go to applications, negotiations, and then inquiry removal, and then we repeat the process. We talked about the cash access. Alan, thank you. We look forward to working with you. Business credit does not report to your personal credit unless you have a Capital One card. But that's not the end of the world if you do have that. If you get started with us, we'll help you get access to a lot more than just Capital One. The 9% works like this, Camille. If you sign up, you choose that option, you don't pay anything today except the $1, and then after we apply, we send you an invoice, and then you pay the 9%. So we do the applications. That takes a couple weeks to finish the applications and the negotiations. Once we've completed the negotiations, we let you know, and we tell you how much the total is, and you'll already have that in the mail by then. And then we'll send you the invoice, and you'll have 7 days to pay that invoice. So if you get $100,000, you pay 9%, which is $9,000. And if you're on the call today, you're getting a steal by being able to only pay $3,000. You have to pay the 9% if you choose that option. If we already start the applications and you get $100,000, you are locked in to pay that 9% on that $100,000. You're going to be required to sign a contract and all that. So if you do that option with the 9%, just realize that's what you'll have to do. And then if, let's say, we get you only $30,000, in many cases people are only getting $40,000, $50,000. So you may only have to pay 9% on the $40,000, which is pretty close to $3,000. You follow me? So it might be okay if you don't want to pay anything today. It might not be such a stretch for you to just do the 9% back-end fee. We might only get you $40,000, depending on your credit, and then you pay 9% of that. Now you've got $40,000. Now you can invest and buy the membership after that. So pay $3,000 now or 9% later. Exactly. Those are your two options.
Excellent. So Trina's asking, how long is the offer? Is this today only? And the answer is yeah. In fact, let's go ahead and welcome, I'm going to go ahead and welcome James to the program. Went ahead and got started with the membership. Let's see, Gary got started with the program. He also joined the membership. Then we have Paul, who joined the back-end funding program. Then we have Angeli and Rob, who joined the membership. Welcome aboard. So if you're wondering if the bonuses are still available, there is, or if you get started right now, there is still a few bonuses available. Now, if you want to get started, but you'd rather talk to somebody over the phone, then go ahead, come to the questions area and put your phone number in, but have your payment information ready, but one of our folks will call and reach out to you, and they will get you started over the phone. So if you have any last questions that you want to ask them, then they can answer that for you and then get you started.
Alice, we got your phone number. We'll give you a call. If there's anyone else, I think Curtis and James sent their phone numbers. If there's anyone else that wants a call, we will reach out to you. Just send your phone number through the questions area, and we will give you a call. If you don't know your credit score and you sign up with us, don't worry about it because we're going to pull your credit. We'll go over that with you a few days after you sign up. You're going to get an in-depth consultation call with one of our senior credit analysts. They're going to go over your entire credit report from top to bottom. They're going to go over the entire plan of action for the 12 months that we'll be working with you. And so at that point, you'll know what your credit score is, you'll know what you qualify for, and you'll have a much better and clearer picture of what to expect working with us for the next 12 months. If you don't want to sign up until you know your credit score, then just go online to one of the free credit report websites, or you could go to creditchecktotal.com. You can go to scoresense.com. ScoreSense has a free trial for 7 days. Credit Check Total it's like $1 for 7 days. And that's a good way to get a good look at your credit report. It's a tri-merge report, and that's something you can do if you want to do that before you sign up with us. But we do have a 60-day money-back guarantee, and we're going to get your credit pulled for you in the beginning. So don't let that be something that stops you from doing it, because we're going to do it for you regardless. Okay, so a lot of clients will sign up with us for a second and third and even fourth year to get more funding at zero interest, and many times they want to merge the accounts so they have a longer period of time at zero interest. So the way that we would do that is we would apply in the first month, we would apply and get you anywhere between $30,000 to $150,000, and then we would repeat that process again over the 12-month period, usually 3 to 5 times. So when we do that, we're able to merge some of the accounts and extend the amount of time that you have zero interest. So you're kind of like flipping these zero interest offers, keeping it at zero interest as long as possible. So we're able to do that for multiple years at a time. And so definitely think about signing up for the first year, but also keep in mind we can work with you for the second and third year to continue to maintain it for you. Jennifer says, how long does the zero interest APR last, and what's the interest rate after that? Good question. The interest rate at zero is going to last you from anywhere from 6 to 18 months. And here's how that works. The offers individually are between 6 and 15 months long, but we're applying for multiple zero interest offers for you throughout the 12 months that we work with you. So you're able to get an extension on the amount of time that you're keeping that balance at zero interest by doing this. So it's typically 6 to 15 months each offer, but in total you'll be looking at more like 18 months at zero interest. And then after all of those offers come to an end, the interest rate does go up. On average, we're usually seeing it between 7 to 16%. So that's kind of where you're going to end up. We've seen them as high as 21%, but on average, we are seeing them between 7 and 16%, which really, it's not bad. If you get $100,000 to $200,000 in these credit lines, you're going to keep them open forever, regardless of the interest rate. These are revolving accounts, and they're not going to be shut down until you shut them down, until you decide that you don't want to use it anymore. And no one in their right mind is going to shut these accounts down when you have access to $100,000 or $200,000. You know, that's something that you can use regardless of it having a 10% interest rate or not well into the future. You know, you can use this for unforeseen expenses, if you need to replace a roof on one of your rentals, if you need some extra funding to do a flip or to whatever it is. You know, you're going to keep this stuff open. It's going to help you in the future. Glenn, you can do anything with the business credit. There is no restrictions because you can access the cash on the lines. So that's definitely, we've had many clients use the funding for real estate. In fact, like 80% of our clients are real estate investors of some kind. So if you're looking at, Glenn's looking to take the credit and pay down student loans and personal debt, and you could definitely do that. Absolutely. We even have a slide where we talk about that, about doing exactly that. Like that's one of the uses is paying down high interest loans, or even helping someone in your family or your partner or something like that to pay down their high interest loans so that their credit scores go up, so that then they can get access to this type of funding too. Okay, so we've had several people already go and sign up. We haven't fully reached the first 15 because remember we did say that the first 15 who sign up will get all the bonuses we talked about and of course the $500 discount. So make sure you go directly to this link on the screen because if you don't go to this link you'll end up paying $3,500 and you won't get the buy one get one offer, the partner upgrade. You won't get all those bonuses that we talked about. So just make sure you go to this link so that you can lock all that in. So this works for people who've already been in business for 25 years, and this works for people who are just looking to start. So if you're looking to do some more flips, or to get into flips, or you're looking to start a business, whatever you're looking to do, whatever's on your mind, you can use this funding for it, regardless of the amount of time that you've been in business or how long your entity has been set up. It's not based on that. It's really more based on credit score. So that's why we've talked so much about credit scores and personal credit because it's involved. The bank is going to look at your credit report as the applicant, but they're not going to report these business accounts onto your personal report. So yes, you do have to have a 700 score usually or better in order to get a substantial amount. But the good thing is if you don't, if you had some issues in the past with your credit, we can help you improve that. We have a credit repair company called Credit Help who handles all of this for our clients. So if you had to go through a bankruptcy or you had a foreclosure, you have some late payments, we have a credit repair company on standby that handles this for our clients. And they've gotten bankruptcies removed 4 years early. They've gotten 50 out of 52 derogatories removed off of this one client's credit report, and they do great work. So if you're in a situation where you don't qualify right now, you can still sign up for the membership, and then we'll get you a discount on credit repair because credit repair is not what we do. We are not a credit repair company. We get business credit cards. That's what we do. We apply for business credit. So Cadem takes care of the credit repair side. So if you do need that, we'll be able to get you a wholesale discount with them, and we're just talking a couple $100. We're not talking thousands of dollars. And this is an absolute necessity. It doesn't matter if you're looking to apply for business credit. If you're a business owner, an investor, an entrepreneur, you should have credit scores over 700. And it's not impossible, even if you had issues in the past, but it's something that really all of us should have at this point so that we can continue scaling and growing and leveraging and continuing that process instead of feeling like we're disadvantaged because we have a late payment from 2008 or whatever it is. Those things should not be holding us back. So like I said, we're getting pretty close to the first 15. If you haven't already pulled the link up, at least pull the link up, check it out. The bonuses are listed on the website, and you'll see the $500 discount. Today is the day to do this. We're not going to have this available at this price. The package that we're offering, it's not going to be available forever. We typically charge $3,500 like we already talked about. So if you're on this call, you're here because you were invited, and this is an exclusive offer. So just to recap on what's included, we set up an entity for you. If you don't have one, we can do it even if you do have one. There's good luxury and benefit to that. We're going to get you up to $250,000 in these business credit cards. 3 to 5 batches usually gets you between 50 to 250. And remember, this has to do with where you started when you came in. If you start with a 500 credit score, just understand that 12 months, you might be working on a little bit of credit repair during that 12-month period. So the inquiry removal, the cash liquidation, with other companies, this is usually going to charge you, they're usually going to charge you about a 6 to 10% fee just to get the cash off. This 2% fee, it does not go to us. This is what the fee, or this is what it costs to get the cash off of the card, and you're not paying that to us. These other companies will charge you the 6 to 10% fee, and they'll do it through their merchant account, which is not a smart thing to do. So we've got that figured out, and in the most inexpensive way, and doing it the safest way that you possibly could do it. And then we talked about corporate credit and the financial management software bonus, the 7-day condo stay. All you do to get the 7-day condo stay is stay subscribed to the newsletter, and it's just $50 a month. So for 12 months, that would cost you $550 because the first month is free, and this is like a $1,200 value. If you add up 7 days, at a condo, it comes out to close to $1,200. So it's a pretty cool little bonus there. And then the buy one, get one free membership. For everyone who signs up on the membership on the left-hand side, you will get a buy one, get one free where you can add your partner on for free. Okay, let's see. Jennifer's got a question. After you receive an offer for credit, how long do you have to decide whether or not to use that credit? Well, that's not really how it works, Jennifer. You don't receive an offer for credit and then just decide whether you're going to use it or not. The way it works is you apply, and if you're approved, then you are approved, and then they send you the account in the mail, and then you activate the account. So if you don't activate the account and you just let it sit in the drawer for 2 years, then it's not really gonna still be there or in effect 2 years from now. But if you activate it within a month or so after you get the card, you'll be good. I wouldn't recommend getting approved for $100,000 at 0 interest for 12 months and then wait 12 months to use it, because it's likely that the bank is going to say, hey, we approved you for this 12 months ago. The 0 interest is now expired. So, I'd say ideally try to use it when you get it so that you can capitalize on the amount of time you have it at 0 interest. Some banks might allow you to delay the time that, to delay your activation, but for the most part, it's not something you can just put it in the drawer and use it 6 months later. Everything that we've talked about on this web class, we've been very thorough. We've gone over the entire program from top to bottom. So if you have any other questions at this point, send your phone number through. We'll give you a call and help you get signed up over the phone. So if you're still on the fence, like I said, go to the link, get started, take action on this. Now is the time to take action on this. You might think that you need to wait for some reason, but in all reality, now's the time. We have a $500 discount. You're not going to get the same offer if you do wait. If you have to wait, we understand, but if you can pull the trigger now would be a great time, because if you contact us in 2 weeks, we really hate having to tell people that we can't give them the same offer. So it'd be great if anyone on the call that's on the fence can just get started, and we'll get started working for you right away and get you the funding that we're talking about. Camille says 9% for all the batches for the first year. That's your choice. That's 9% each time we apply. If you say I want to buy the membership now, I already paid my first 9%. I already got my first 50,000. I paid 9%, 4,500. Now I want to just do the membership. At that point, you can now pay the 3,000 and buy the membership. Ricardo, we got your phone number. Ricardo says I'd like to sign up over the phone. Absolutely. Alan, did you sign up yet? The cost of the membership, Mark, is on your left. Oh, Mark, you don't see the screen. Okay, well, on the screen, the membership cost is $3,000 today. Normally, it's $3,500. Today, it's $3,000, and you can add a partner on at no additional cost. You're able to add a partner on at no additional charge if you have that luxury. A lot of people add a spouse, family member, business partner, friend. It's up to you. If you don't have that, then forget it. Just keep in mind you're still getting a $500 discount off of our normal price of $3,500. That's the cost, $3,000. Go to the link, sign up there. There's payment options there. Choose your payment. It's up to you. Either way, we've got a great program lined up for you. You're gonna be very satisfied. You'll be giving us a testimonial after we get you the credit. You're gonna just be absolutely blown away by the kind of ROI you're gonna be able to create when you can go and purchase a property for 80 grand, fix it up, and do it all with business credit and keep it at 0 interest and not have to pay an arm and a leg just to do that. Or think about the rehab on a property that you have a hard money loan on right now that you've gotten for $80,000, and you know that you need to put $40,000 into that property to rehab it. Then you'll be able to sell it for $220,000. M says, sorry if this sounds like a dumb question. There's no dumb question, but is funding guaranteed once we sign up? In the event that we don't get funded, what happens then? You have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Within that time frame, you're going to know if you're going to get funding. If you can't get funding in the first 60 days and that you're not happy with that, we'll give you your money back regardless. But the fact of the matter is this: if you get funding with us, if you're working with our credit repair team and they remove derogatory items from your credit report, if we get you credit in the first 60 days, you're not going to want a refund when progress is being made. So either way, that's the bottom line. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. M says, got it, thanks. Wish I heard about you guys sooner. M, I hope to see you getting started. If you haven't already registered, go ahead and get started. All right, so it looks like we've gotten to everyone's question. If you have anything else, put your phone number in and you want to sign up. We'll call you if you have some questions still. Alan, if you want to talk over the phone, send your phone number through. I'll leave the console open for another minute. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day. We got to wrap this up. Got to run. Thank you guys for spending time with us. We hope you got a lot out of it. If you enjoyed it, send some positive feedback through. We'd really appreciate that. Go to the link right now, pull it up, get started. Let us help you out, guys. This is what we're in business for. We're here to help, and we're totally upfront and transparent about this. Once you get to your consult, you'll see that. You're going to really enjoy working with our team, and I guarantee that. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.